There were a lot of people like this gentleman that have been buying and trying to kind of pump and dump. Well, maybe not pump. I don't think it's a good word. To really try and invest and buy into the dual land craze recently. And you guys have to remember, for the longest time, revised dual lands were always deemed as the bad investment, even though it's reserve list. There's, the print run was $138 gazillion, and they were printed in Zimbabwe dollars, and they're sold in Iraqi dinar, all this goofy crap. And the reality of the situation is, they're still reserve lists. It is the original dual land. Yes, I understand. This is, it's the faded white line border. It's not alpha beta. It's not even the rich colors of Unlimited. I get that. But the thing is, I have firmly disagreed with the anti-revised dual land investing for the last 5 to 8 years. On a normal month, I try to acquire at least another 20 dual lands per month. Now,
I remember that video, folks. You guys remember that video? May of 2018. This is 2021. Isn't that crazy how quick time flies by, ladies and gentlemen? Flipping crazy. It's kind of a funny thing. As we always talk about on this channel, the average investor tends to get it wrong. The market's obviously very skewed against you. The big guys want you to lose. These are all things we've talked about. These are all things we've known for a long time. And here we are in 2021, and I see what's going on in the open market with revised. And it's a very, you've got opinions flying everywhere. You got the typical, we need to ban the reserve list, get the pitchforks out, we're going to the headquarters of WotC. Yeah, same old thing. Then you get the other group of people saying, well, they are reserve lists. US dollar's not worth anything. Who wants to hold cash at 0%? Might as well buy some reserve lists. You gotta buy some Pokemon. You have a combination of all of these different variables going against each other. And the biggest thing is, again, Reddit would always bash. And when I say Reddit, I mean usually the MTG finance scholars and the lab coats. And they would always try to attack the individuals and give poor advice to the individuals that are saying, should I accumulate some revised dual lands? Should I sit on these sealed boxes? No! And they kind of attack, gets deleted. And it's very sad, because I think to myself many times over the years, I was like, how many people have been fascinated by this topic, have gone online and tried to get feedback from others, and then just get annihilated with a giant, taco hammer right in the face for asking a question like that. It has to genuinely be thousands of people over the last 3 years who post in the correct subreddit and then just get annihilated. You know what's funny? That's one of the biggest differences between Wall Street Bets and the Magic world. In Wall Street Bets, when you discuss that kind of stuff, they welcome you with open arms. They call you they call you retarded, big gay bears. They say diamond hands to the moon, and you get a bunch of rocket emojis. And they stand with you and they tell you you're one of us. It's an amazing thing. I mean, they welcome people. They have this, it's an amazing culture when you look at that and you compare it to the Magic culture. Hey guys, I'm thinking about, what are you, an idiot? Get him off the difference on the mindset. It's like it's not even on the same planet. And I find that fascinating. and a little sad at the same time, because I find it disappointing the Magic world, they don't come together and do that. So it's 2021. If you haven't gotten the memo, revised dual lands on many of the big websites, especially in near mint to mint condition. When you get the big bad underground seas and volcanics, are essentially at $1,000 at many of these websites. So the day has come that's actually come true. And Rudy, how do you feel about that? I don't really have much of a reaction. This is one of those things where it's such a topic that's been discussed for like weekly basis over like I've been talking about this topic since 2016 on this channel. It's 5 years we've talked about revised dual lands. It's 5 years we've talked about revised as a whole. When I first started this channel in 2016, 2017, we used to talk about revised booster boxes and starter bricks when they were $3,000 to $4,000 a brick in 2016. And I remember telling people, I was like, this is really cheap. No, it's not, you idiot. All you can get is dual land or bust. Why would you do that? It's dual land or bust. Are you sure? And that's the fallacy, ladies and gentlemen. That's the fallacy. The fallacy is individuals look at cards or a set or a market based on the surface that they can see. That's the difference between the Timmy Empire, Wall Street bets, or of course people who do their double D's, due diligence. I know, it gets a giggity. That's the difference, folks. That is genuinely the difference. And that's why the Magic world will never be able to come together and do anything amazing. Because, and it's been weird, because you would think over all the years and the growth and the expansion of Magic, there would be some form of cultural shift for the positive. And you don't see that. You know, it's interesting. So again, here we are in 2021. Revised dual lands are through the roof, going to the moon. And I got a bunch of videos in queue on this topic. You know what? There's been a couple interesting comments, and I want to see what the public says on this. I had a couple individuals contact me, and they made a comment to me. They said, well, Rudy, if the backbone of reserve list pricing is the buy list and what the big boys sell for, and the big boys always have to raise their buy list to acquire new inventory, what happens if people start having diamond hands in the Magic world? What happens if people stop selling the reserve list to the big stores and they have to keep raising the buy list to acquire? What happens if people work together and actually say, no, we're not selling? What would happen? You know, there's been some chatter on that. I've had some strange messages on that lately. Because I think what we're doing is we're going through a very strange power shift right now with the public, with this whole Wall Street and the GameStop and, you know, Dogecoin, the meme coin. You know, you're seeing a huge, you're seeing a tone change. You're seeing the market, a lot of people come together, which is actually a nice thing to say. It's funny, like that's what we talk about. There's no way to predict what's going to happen. And it's interesting how the strangest things in the future can shift everything. And I started getting these couple messages lately, and I was like, you know, I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to make this video, and we'll make a follow-up, and we'll see here. But I never thought of that. And because this one particular individual is a very heavy investor. I've discussed this with him, not this topic, many topics with him over the years, and I said, and he presented this to me, and he goes, you ever stop to think what would happen, Rudy? What would happen if all these stores that need old cards are reserve lists because they've been bought out, because they don't keep up quick enough with the market, and they're trying to buy lists and accumulate more cards, but what would genuinely happen if the stores weren't able to acquire it and people rejected that and they had to keep raising the buy list to attract new cards? And I said, I don't know. That's an interesting topic.